In this world, witches are known to curse people, and there are only 3 ways to remove it. The first way is by a true love's kiss. The second way is that the witch has a change in heart. However, the third way is a secret for now. Our main character Kido and our partner Ashraf arrive in a town looking for a witch. They stumble upon a girl who has information about witches. However, during the conversation, a shockwave breaks all the glass in the building. A giant shark monster is revealed and starts stomping through the city. A blue-haired lady appears and charges up a magical attack. The beast rushes her and she shoots it. This causes it to explode and transform into a man. The girl and everyone else in the town sees this witch as a hero. The shark guy rambles on about how witches are evil. This is interrupted with Kido flying in to attack the witch. She blocks these attacks, then puts Kido in chains. She claims they have met before, but she denies this. The whole city is now turned against the duo for attacking their hero. Ashraf comes in and teleports them to safety. We are told about the witch's curse that plagued the town 400 years ago. It resulted in fires erupting, however this was sealed away when the witch was killed. It is known that the fires were sealed away in this mansion, which happens to be the current witch's home. The duo are approached by a group of people who came for a party. The girl from before answers the door and tells the duo to leave. At their hotel, Ashraf finds something on the witch, so they raid her house. We see the girl wake up with her arms and legs chopped off. Everyone is either badly injured or dead. The witch reveals that they are keys to unlock the sealed fires. The old story was about her grandmother who was trying to save the town. However, she was killed due to fear, so she is now getting revenge. She opens the first lock, resulting in the town to be engulfed in flames. Kido jumps in and attempts to attack the witch. However, she is trapped in a tree. She escapes this and tries to hit her again, but is blasted back into the tree. Ashraf comes in and says some low-key prejudiced stuff. He then blocks her attacks with a magical barrier. Kido rises from the rumble and confronts her about the curse on her neck. She claims to have nothing to do with it. She then shoots a fireball at her and laughs at them for getting the wrong person. Ashraf begins to reveal the last way to release a curse. Kido charges again, but she is stopped by a spike. She then grabs the witch and kisses her. The coffin Ashraf has been carrying has awakened. A beast comes out, Kido's true form. She starts to march towards the witch and takes her attacks like it's nothing. The witch uses a massive fireball attack which seems like it did the job. Ashraf explains that Kido is a beast, a witch's only natural enemy. She then grabs her arm and punches her into the ceiling, and this knocks her out. Kido collapses and is then seen back in her usual body. We are introduced to grimoires, which are forbidden instruments. They make you stronger but are dangerous and require feeding. A couple splits up after a date, and a crow stares menacingly at the woman. She walks into a creature and is grabbed. She then explodes. The creature says it needs more victims. The duo arrive on an island where they are tasked with calming down a rich man's magical beast. That was a mouthful. The duo argue as Kido believes that this is a waste of time as she only wants to hunt witches. This leaves Ashraf to defeat the beast on his own. He fires a massive ball of water at it, but it's countered easily. However, the water comes back together and suffocates the beast, causing it to collapse. The duo are having lunch and Kido complains that they have been doing useless side quests instead of hunting witches to release her curse. Ashraf tells her that witch cases are rare and she still must do work on other jobs. A waiter brings them a letter and Ashraf is surprised about what's written on it. They arrive at an old lady's house. Kido is initially excited as she thinks she is a witch. However, she is disappointed as the job is just opening a box sealed with magic. The duo fights again and Kido claims as soon as her curse is lifted she will kill Ashraf. Whilst having lunch they are given a black envelope, which means a witch is involved. The letter describes a serial killer witch with a grimoire. We are introduced to a Mikasa clone called Heinz. She's having flashbacks to her losing her kids in a fire. They arrive at the crime scene where Heinz is revealed to be a police officer and the only mage in town. The whole town is severely understaffed, hence the struggle to catch the witch. The duo meets Heinz in the street and offers her help. Initially suspicious of the duo, she decides to talk it over dinner. She questions why they are helping the town, and they reveal that Kido is under a curse, and they're hunting for the witch that placed it on her. Having all teamed up, Heinz leaves the duo to begin the hunt tomorrow. We then see the witch claiming another victim. They arrive at the bookshop that they believe the witch is at. When they arrive, they can smell something horrible. They enter and find a rotten corpse. Heinz gets a call regarding another witch attack, so she leaves the duo behind to investigate it. As soon as she leaves, the duo is attacked. The witch is revealed to be behind this attack, and Kido tries to attack her, but she vanishes. They conclude that the witch is after Heinz. They confront her asking how she is connected to the witch. A flashback to her at work is shown. A man enters and tells her that her house is burning. Unfortunately, her kids were home at the time. At the crime scene they found a riddle that gave them a date to meet up. A man tries to avenge Heinz's kids, but he's killed brutally. The man was later revealed to be her boyfriend. They set up a trap for the witch, and she appears. A massive wave of smoke pours down. The witch kills a group of police officers, then vanishes. Ashraf reveals he has pet crows and they can find where the witch teleported to. The witch enters a rundown building, and a police officer is killed. The witch is revealed to be a blonde boy, and Kido jumps in to attack him, but she's ambushed by another blonde boy. The two boys find Ashraf and Kido. Hines and two police officers emerge from the clearing smoke. She reveals that the two boys are her children. The grimoire gave her kids the witch's powers. They found it on Hines' desk and are now forced to kill others, or else the grimoire will kill them. One coughs out blood, and Ashraf reveals that they haven't fed the grimoire, as the police officers they previously killed were fakes. Kido rushes them and punches both of them in the face. The kids say they fell in love with Hines, but she doesn't care about this and shoots them dead. They take the grimoires and say their goodbye to Hines. We are introduced to necromancy, the art of bringing the dead back to life. The duo is talking to a client when they're interrupted by a mad person. Kido knocks the person out. The police arrive and explain that the person is a neglected undead. When an undead is left alone for too long, they lose their minds. Recently, lots of crazy undead have been appearing. They request for the duo's help. However, Ashraf says they aren't trained for the undead, so they refer the police to another duo called Fenora and Johan. They have coffee with the police. They believe that someone is illegally resurrecting people. A woman is grieving a lost one until a creepy person approaches her. He offers to resurrect them for her, but she doesn't have enough money, so he says he'll do it for free. The duo and the police are in a church. Fenora has a lamp that attracts undeads towards her. A massive crowd of undead appear outside the church. The police officer is seen grieving his fiancée. He wants to resurrect her, but their parents do not allow this. Fenora puts the lamp onto Johan, causing the crowd to attack him. He begins struggling, fighting off the massive horde of undead. The police officer joins the fight, and Fenora explains that she knows all of them came from the same place. She figured this out as they all came at the same time. Johan finishes off the last undead, then Fenora inspects the body. She can tell that the resurrection was done badly, and it was done with bad intent. An undead grabs Fenora's arm, so Johan quickly kills it. They now suspect they are being watched. They follow the trail that the undead left behind, and they arrive at the building. Whilst Johan is looking through the window, he is grabbed by a large zombie, then punched. The necromancer, controlling an undead, appears and reveals himself. He has a massive interest for Fenora. He reveals they resurrected the police officer's fiancé. He cuts Johan and uses him as a hostage to get Fenora to follow him. I will call the necromancer Jeff from now on. We see Jeff looking over his wife Marielle. She has unfortunately passed away and is heavily decomposed. He promises to bring her back to life. Fenora and the police officer are now walking inside Jeff's house. Johan is dragged into his shed. The duo reach a dining hall and Jeff invites them to sit down. They are angry at Jeff for making such poorly resurrected servants. Fenora explains that a resurrected person has no afterlife, and their soul is trapped in the void. Jeff tells him the story of his first love, Marielle, and how his skin was burnt off. He tells him that the servants were just practice for when he resurrects Marielle. He now wants to use Fenora's body to put Marielle into. Two servants try to grab her, but she pushes them away, turning them into dust. She reveals she has cursed eyes. Cursed writing also moves around her body. This means she is a witch, which shocks Jeff. Now backed into a corner, Jeff tries to use Johan to get the upper hand. This doesn't work as Fenora doesn't care about him. Jeff gets his large undead army ready to fight. Fenora in return summons her own army of extremely powerful undead called Death Knights. In a second they rip free Jeff's army, slicing and dicing every undead like butter. It was a complete bloodbath, with body parts everywhere. Jeff runs away to Marielle's body, and Johan appears behind him. He reveals that he was an undead the whole time, and since he was resurrected by a witch, his healing capabilities are crazy. He slowly approaches Jeff and pulls out the knife, ready to torture him. Fenora and the police officer comes in later to see a heavily mutilated Jeff. She finishes off Jeff with a bullet to the head. Later we see Jeff back to normal. He knows that Fenora resurrected him, so his soul has been cursed to go to the void. Unfortunately for the police officer, he also gets his fiancée back. We are told about a Paladin Corp. They are a magical army who fights for the church and world peace. They mainly focus on magical related issues though. However, they have a hidden dark side. Ashraf is cooking breakfast for a tired Kido. He tells her about the case where multiple people were cut into ribbons. This makes Ashraf believe that the witch is involved. The Paladin Corp might also get involved as it is close to the church. They'll have to fight the Paladin Corp to get to the witch. They arrive at the town, and the tower collapses. The duo walk through the town and sees the entire town is evacuating. They are stopped by the Paladin Corp whilst looking for the witch. They want to ID and search them for safety reasons. Ashraf gives them a fake ID using his ring. He shows them the coffin with the church's seal of approval. They allow them to pass, but they are given an escort. Later Kido knocks him out. The commander of the Paladin Corp, Kuga, is sitting on his throne. The others tell him to stop fighting the witch on his own, but he tells them he wants to kill the witch himself. A suspicious man reminds him that he has to bring her back alive. The duo spots the witch past the green barrier. Ashraf creates a hole in the barrier. 3 Paladin Corps soldiers catch the witch, however she takes them all out instantly. Kido throws a punch at the witch, and she blocks it with her sword. She is thrown back, and the witch fires many blades at her. Kido tries to ambush her, but she is cut in the face. Blades are fired at her again, and she catches all of them. Ashraf approaches from behind, and using his spell, he turns the witch into a ball. Ashraf realizes that she isn't using her true powers. She breaks out of the ball, and Ashraf sees that she has a demon sword on her back. The sword has enough power to rule the entire world. Now hiding from the witch, Ashraf explains how powerful the demon sword is. They are interrupted when the witch fires swords at the duo. She confronts them, and Ashraf apologizes for attacking her. He then offers her their protection from the Paladin Corp. The demon sword begins to speak. The witch argues with the sword. Ashraf approaches the witch, now realizing that she wasn't the one who killed the people. Her name is revealed to be Helga. They are attacked by the Paladin Corp. Ashraf creates a barrier to block the attack. He then reaches out a hand to Helga. The demon sword tells her to accept their help, but she rejects it and walks away. Ashraf tells Kido to run after her. Helga runs into Commander Kuga, and Kido jumps in ready to help. A flashback to when Kido knocked out the Paladin soldier is shown. Ashraf explains to Kido that if she ever sees a man with ice powers, she is in deep trouble. He attacks him with an ice attack. Things are looking hopeless. Kido is about to kiss the witch to unlock her true form, but Ashraf stops her. He tells her to save it as there is too much unknown. Kido tells the witch to escape as she holds Kuga back. She jumps at him and tries to punch him, however she is blasted away. He shoots her again, then starts to go after Helga. Kido attacks him from behind, but he blocks it. He starts to freeze Kido from the feet up. She is now fully trapped in ice. He goes after Helga whilst riding a massive ice block. Kido breaks out to the ice tomb. Kuga drops the ice on Helga. She's been impaled by a wooden spike. She has dropped a sword and it calls for Kuga. He picks up the sword from the ground. Helga fires swords at him, but he blocks it with ease. Kido comes back in with a flying kick. Another core Paladin member grabs the sword, but Kido also holds onto it. They begin to play tug of war, but Kuga attacks Kido. Now cornered, she decides to throw the sword far away. Helga runs after it, but she's attacked by more members of the Paladin Corp. Kido jumps in and receives the sword. She tells her to follow her if she wants her sword back. Kuga creates an ice storm. This forces the duo to run away. The witch uses a flying sword to fly them away. The ice storm is huge and begins to reach them. A flashback shows Helga living her ordinary life. When she gets home, she is shocked to see that everyone she encountered is now dead. The sword taunts her to use it. Then it flashes back to the duo, who are now defeated. Kuga picks up the demon sword and puts it in an ice case. The Paladin Corp traps the duo in armor, which counts as magic. Ashraf approaches them, so Kuga makes a large wall separating the duo. They are taken to the Paladin's base. Ashraf starts to reason with Kuga. He tells him that Helga is innocent. The demon sword breaks out of the ice cover. It starts controlling the Paladins, causing chaos. A mage within the Paladins takes advantage of the chaos and attacks the other Paladins. The mage is known as an executioner and are the most ruthless witch hunters. He has the power to control other people. Ashraf tells Kuga that the executioner framed Helga. He doesn't believe him, so he tries to contact base and he gets no reply. He is then shot through the chest. It was another one of the Paladin's people. Using a flame up, she fully disables Kuga. She increases the heat and is about to finish him off. Back at the base, things are looking bleak. Kido knocks one of the guards out. The vice commander then attacks her, pinning her to the ground. The executioner begins to take over her mind, but Helga runs in. The sword taunts her to draw it now. She gives in and agrees to draw it. Kido breaks the mind control and armor. She then breaks Helga's armor as well. She picks Helga up and gets the sword back. The vice captain grabs the witch. Kido flies out the window whilst Helga stays. The executioner now begins to take over her mind. Kido tries to unseal the demon sword, but it doesn't work. The sword tells her that she needs Helga to use it. She sets out to find Ashraf, however he is half frozen and Kuga is unconscious on the floor. He breaks out of the ice and walks towards Kuga to treat him. He wakes up and Ashraf thanks him for holding back his true power when he was fighting them. Kido tells Kuga that the executioner took over his army. The executioner finds the trio. He reveals that Helga is immune to his mind control powers. He commands the Paladin Corp people to kill themselves, which angers Kuga. Helga attacks him, allowing her to escape. Ashraf distracts the executioner, so Kido and Helga can escape. She tricks Kido, then tries to kill her. She then tries to kill Ashraf and Kuga as well. The executioner lied, his mind control power did work. Helga now takes the demon sword back from an injured Kido. She delivers the sword straight to the executioner. He draws it and nothing happens. To activate the sword, you need the heart of a witch. He stabs Helga in the heart. This finally activates the sword. A large pink slash slices the Paladin's Corp headquarters in half. Ashraf is healing Helga. We see the sword in its true form. He commands the sword to kill Kuga, but nothing happens. It then claps its hands. This results in many of Kuga's mind-controlled men dying. The sword is a mindless monster that only seeks destruction. The executioner leaves to increase his power by sacrificing more people. Helga wakes up and feels defeated having released the sword. Kido crawls to the duo and Ashraf tells her it's time. Now understanding the whole situation, Kido kisses Helga. Kido's spirit is transferred into a coffin. This allows Kido's true form to emerge from the coffin. He begins marching towards the demon sword. It shoots a beam at Kido, but he reflects it like it was nothing. Kuga summons a massive icicle over the demon sword. It splits it in half, and Kido catches it. He throws it at the demon sword, but it breaks it before it hits. Kuga summons 3 massive mist clouds. They all begin to attack the demon sword. However, they're all taken out in one move. Kuga summons another mist cloud. It's about to grab the demon sword, but he uses a massive slice attack. This cuts Kido, injuring him. The sword now jumps to attack Kido, and they clash. Kido holds the attack, but a massive explosion occurs. Kido, unfazed, squeezes its arms, causing it to cry out in pain. Using his left arm, he punches the sword in the face. This ends the fight. Now fading away, it thanks Kido for ending its life. It vanishes into nothing. We see the executioner running to the civilians. Before he can kill the people, Kido shoots a rock at his mind-controlling arm, cutting it off. He then shoots more rocks, taking both his arms and legs. The executioners are caught and Kuga takes them away for punishment. Helga mourns the loss of the demon sword, but Ashraf tells her that Kido didn't kill it. She then hugs the sword lovingly. Ashraf takes Helga to meet the organization. Kido must wait outside for privacy reasons. Whilst the duo is walking to the organization, a group of kids talk about a witch. Kido hears this and confronts them. She threatens to break their necks if they don't take her to the witch, so they agree. They lead her to a house and she enters a gate. Whilst walking to the front door, it opens. She is greeted by an old lady holding a steaming bowl. Kido runs at her, but falls over. Her legs have stopped working. She then tries to punch her, but the dog bites her arm. Then a cat scratches her face, so the old lady applies ointments to it. Kido is disappointed that the witch was a fake. Ashraf and Helga talk to an assistant for directions. He gives them a black envelope, meaning a witch is involved. Now worried about Kido, he leaves Helga with the assistant to go help. An executioner enters the house, shocking Kido. He makes the kids disappear using his cloak. Kido then wakes up in a strange room. He used domain expansion, and everyone in his room has almost 0 brain function. He gives Kido a bit of freedom so he can tell his story. He was the partner of the other executioner. He asks where his partner has been taken, and what has happened to his mind-controlled arm. One of the kids are also able to move around, meaning they're extremely powerful. Ashraf is still running to find Kido, and Helga has followed him. Ashraf reveals that the witch involved is the same witch that placed the curse on Kido. Kido is excited knowing that this is the witch she's been chasing. She calls her by her name Angela. The executioner confronts Angela, asking how she can move around freely. She made a one-to-one replica of his magical cloak. Her cloak is only temporary though, so she wants the original. Kido stands and moves towards Angela. The duo reach the original spot and can't find Kido. Ashraf explains the concept of threads to Helga. He says there is a special bond between the curse and the cursor that brings them together. There is very little someone can do to stop it. Ashraf knows it is looking bleak for Kido, as even in perfect health she still can do anything to defeat Angela. Ashraf tells Helga to go back inside where it's safe, but she refuses, wanting to save Kido. Angela starts to tell an injured Kido how she lured her here. She reveals that Kido is in Angela's old body. She takes off Kido's old collar and starts teasing her. Kido tries to kiss her to unlock her true form, but she blocks it. She begins to walk away, realizing that the organization knows that she's in town. She tells Kido to chase her, saying she'll leave a breadcrumb trail for her to follow. Kido tries to punch her from behind, but it's blocked by a barrier. She now promises to kill Angela, and a bright light is flashed. Ashraf and Helga arrive at the old lady's house. They find a badly injured Kido laying on the floor. Helga spots the mutilated executioner hanging on the door. Kido is now in bed, still injured. Ashraf offers to treat her, but she doesn't trust him anymore. The last time he treated her, her legs and arms were still badly damaged. Kido punches Ashraf, causing him to cough blood. He apologizes, saying he only did it to keep her from fighting. She forgives him as they both have mutual interests. Ashraf tells a story on how he first met Kido. He was on a train to investigate a town with a witch. Strange and gruesome events have been occurring in this town. He came off the train and saw a mysterious girl holding a coffin. In a small town we see 2 kids walking. A man picks up one of the kids and blames her sister for killing his cow. The sister is revealed to be a witch. Another kid called Craig comes in to defend the kid. Ashraf also joins in. He casts a mind control spell and forces the men to leave the scene. Kido walks past the 2 men, and they give her attitude, so she beats them up. This catches Ashraf's attention. She attacks them, but Ashraf blocks her with a barrier. Using her coffin, she tries to break the barrier. She tells Ashraf to move as she wants the witch. She shows them her curse, and this causes a massive monster to appear. It punches Kido across the town. The entire town has now seen the witch summon a monster. The kids make Ashraf a cup of tea, and Ashraf offers a tied up Kido a cup as well. The kids reveal that the witch can't talk, meaning she has no powers. This means it was impossible for her to have cursed Kido. Ashraf believes someone is trying to frame the kids by summoning the monster. He promises to protect all the kids. Ashraf and Kido are walking. Ashraf believes that the witch has been cursed, hence why she can't speak. There is a commotion in the town. Craig tells Ashraf that the monsters came back and killed the mayor. They all believe the witch did this. A man with a mask made a witch hunting mob and is now after the witch. Ashraf begins to run to the witch and Craig follows. He turns around and shoots Craig. He blocked the bullet and he's revealed to be an executioner. Ashraf then begins to cough out blood as he's been hit. Craig summons the monster and attacks Ashraf before putting on his mask. The mob has reached the kid's house, however, the witch is out collecting wood. The witch turns around and sees a massive fire. A heavily injured Ashraf is approached by Kido. Ashraf tells her to protect the witch as she can undo the curse. The witch returns and finds her sister has been killed brutally. She is dragged to the executioner. He finds the witch's curse on her tongue. Kido jumps in and decapitates 2 men before kicking the executioner away. Using a fire attack, he lunges at Kido, but she blocks her using her coffin. She is attacked by spikes and hung up. She is then set on fire before being thrown away. He now approaches the witch. Ashraf swoops in, separating them. The witch approaches Kido. They kiss, undoing the curse. The executioner has broken Ashraf's barrier. Now on the floor defeated, he's about to be finished off. However, the executioner is punched in the face. Kido has been awakened. Craig summons his monster to attack Kido, but she defeats him in a single punch. The executioner shoots fire at Kido to distract her. He sends the mob to attack the witch, not knowing her curse has also been lifted. Using her power, she makes them all freeze. She also commands the fires to stop. She then commands the executioner to die, making him evaporate into nothing. Later, we see that the witch has brought back her sister from the dead. Ashraf then offers Kido help with her witch hunt if she joins the organization. All of this was 3 years ago. The duo travel to a bottomless pit. They enter an elevator with 17 levels, each level containing a different world. Ashraf believes that Angela is at level 4. They arrive at the 4th level. They collect 10 days worth of clothes. He asks that the clothes should be all black. This shocks the seller, as an all black outfit has a secret meaning. In their new world, the duo leaves the building, and Ashraf reveals that they have entered the world of vampires. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe. You can join my Discord linked in the description. Thanks for watching, look out and take care.